Well, hello and welcome to the inside of my crash helmet. I've never done this before, which is to say not stand on the side of a road and be stared at by car drivers. But I felt it necessary to give this a try because have I got a treat that I just really wanted to get a little video of, if for no other reason than for my own record to look back on, because I've waited a long time for this one. The Honda RC30 VFR 750R, to give it its proper name. We've had this in on the magazine Fast Bikes recently for a feature, and it's going back to its owner soon. Thank you very much, Paul, for lending it to us. Before it goes back, I thought I'd take a break from what I'm doing and get out for one last spin on this lovely day. Actually, nice dry roads. What a bike! Just have a quick walk around it and then we'll jump on. So 1998, the year is 1998, and Honda come out with this absolute weapon, which is at the heart of it is a gear-driven camshaft. That's it. V4 750 engine, which sounds like this. In fact, I might just jump off. Really hope you can hear that. So let's go for a ride. Quick 15-minute jaunt, and hopefully you might get a flavour of what it's like. Massively long first gear. Oh mate, little nod there. We'll just let it come up to temp, and while we do that, just recap some of the headlines about this bike. I mean, it's an icon, let's just get that straight out there. And it's an icon for a lot of reasons, not least how fantastic it looks, but its racing pedigree is absolutely... I don't know if there's ever been a bike quite so dominant as the RC30 was in its day. It won World Superbike Championships, AMA Championships, World Endurance Championships, Suzuka, 8th Hour, Macau GP, God knows how many TTs, mostly in the hands of Joey Dunlop and Steve Hislop, I think. We've probably got the lion's share and bumpy little road this. I don't know if you can hear my voice. And it's rolling along. Anyway, so vastly successful on the track. I remember I had this bike. This is my poster bike. When I was, in 1988 I'd have been 16. And this was my poster. Oh my god, this bike ride's so nice. It's just, I mean, it's small. We'll come on to that in a bit. But this bike was my poster bike in 1988, and I was 16 years old. And it's taken until now to finally get to throw my leg over one. And the worry about that, of course, is when you do finally get to meet one of your heroes, because that turns out to be a bit what's the word? Underwhelming. Trying to avoid using naughty words because I'm not sure how to do bleeps on the edit when I sit down later on to look at this. So for such a long first gear, It's surprisingly easy to pull around. So yeah, my poster bike, and here I am riding it. And I wish I could have ridden it when I was 16, because I was about a foot shorter then, and that would have been altogether much more comfortable, I suppose. I'm pretty folded up on this, I'm not going to lie to you. It's quite a small bike anyway. The seat height's real low. There's not much distance between the seat and foot pegs. Oh, it's just, I really hope you can hear that. It's just beautiful. And there's not much distance between the seat and the handlebars, so, which is a journalistic way of saying it's really cramped. And the seat itself is front to back. There's no room. You're really locked in. You're sitting exactly where Honda want you to sit on it. So I'm in touch with the back of the fuel tank and the front of the seat pad simultaneously. Brilliant. Oh my god. I rode this bike the other day for some pictures for Fast Bikes, and I mean, brilliant. To be honest, I didn't really get a proper ride on it. It was just kind of out for pictures and then on to the next bike kind of thing. So I can't honestly say I had any quality time on it, which is why I'm out on it now. Depends who you talk to, but I think Honda made something like about 3,000 of these, but I think there's lots of different the size of that dog, Jesus. Yeah, first gear in a 30 zone. So yeah, not many of them, and a lot of them did get picked up by race teams in the day for good reason. Bit of a favourite with Superbike riders. Anyone? It's interesting, it never actually won the British Superbike Championship. Curiously, quite a few races, but never took the title. It's probably the one thing missing from its CV. Wonder why that is. What else was doing the business in the late 80s in the British Championship? I suppose I'll look that up later. Oh, just listen to, I really hope you can hear that at the back. Fully up to temp now. So the suspension's pretty basic, as you'd expect on a 37-year-old bike, but do you know what, it's not bad, it's a bit soft. This particular one is one that gets used regularly. I'm told it's mostly original, almost all completely original, so I don't think it's had a resto done on it, job done on it. The engine makes about 100 horsepower, so by modern standards it's not a great deal. Real basic layout in here, as you'd expect. Hopefully you can see it. I've got this camera set in the right place. Mirrors are a little bit wonky. I don't know why that is. Can't seem to pull that up. Maybe that's just how they were. Oh my days. I really hope I've got this camera set up right. I'm just going to shut up now and let you have a listen. Why would you just walk there? What a fucking hell. I love this set of bands. Beautiful. Oh, just rolls into the corners. Oh, that's a real, I don't know what the polite word is, but journalistically it just rolls into the corners. What a stupid thing to say. Of course it doesn't roll into the corners. The way it goes from upright into the bends, just those little sweepy ones that I've just been through there, it's just, you know, you're never in doubt that it's going to, okay, here. Oh, beautiful. There's never any doubt where the bike's going to go, you know, when you go into it. I mean, you know, I tell you what though, for the age, it's you know, the brakes that don't have the bite that you'd expect, but you know, there's plenty of power there. Interesting, I can feel the heat now coming out onto the bottom of my right leg. That's one of the downsides of the V4. There's not many downsides of a V4 engine. One of them is the rear cylinders get a bit hot because they're kind of really buried deep into the packaging of the bike, so the heat escapes in there basically. And hello, watch where you're going. We'll go down here, down to a little quieter bit of a road. Oh yeah, that was already first gear. Felt like second. Well, people out walking today. It's just that sound. So yeah, V4s. Honda have been on with the V4 for quite a long time actually. I think, well, I stand to be corrected of course on my on my history, but I'm pretty sure Honda were one of, if not the first, coming through to get into the whole V4 thing. And it was the NR500 GP bike, which I think was the first V4 motorcycle, but I'm almost certainly wrong on that. And that was the GP bike. That was actually an oval piston thing. That's a big pile of horse shit. Let's not ride through that. Paul won't thank me. Oh, it's just, I kind of don't want to rev it too hard. It's just, A, it doesn't need it. You know, there's just plenty right there where I am. What's been going on here? Oh. It's just good. You can just ride. You used to do that all day. Right, back in a 30. Yeah, so NR500. Early 80s, I'm gonna say. Maybe late 70s. No, it wouldn't have been late 70s. Early 80s. All the GP bikes were 2-strokes, of course, and Honda wanted to go down the 4-stroke route, take advantage of that, and they did this mad oval piston thing which had 8 valves per cylinder. See, basically came to a stop there. Didn't even have to put a foot out, which is probably just as well because it's pretty much folded in right up under my arse cheek. Anyway, they did that GP bike. It was V8, sort of V8ish tribute thing, 32 valves, 4 oval pistons laid out in the V4 thing. That was useless, so they gave up on that. And Yamaha actually were the first to come up with a V4 2-stroke 500cc GP bike. And then Honda came back with a V3. After their NR 500. That was also useless. Then of course they came in with the NSR 500 V4. So that's your GP cover, and everything's been V4 ever since really, with the odd exception here and there obviously, which we all know about. But V4 is the way to go. Because it's narrow, it's good to package, you get a nice uneven firing order, which you can play around with if you've got a V4 engine, and you do that by lots of different things really. You can do that by the angle of the V, the offset between the two crank pins, because you've got 2 pistons on 1 crank pin. That's a bit of a nerdy. Oh god, this is so good. Oh, this is really sweaty now, I'm not gonna lie. She's warm! Yeah, what was I saying? V4s, yeah, very popular. Lots and lots of benefits if you want to go fast, basically. A shorter crank, obviously, crank's it's not going to be half as long as an inline 4 crank, but it's going to be shorter anyway. Is that gravel? I'll go over here. But a shorter crank makes the bike handle a lot more nimblery. Is that a word? Cut my grass this morning so I could get out on this afternoon. Yeah, anyway, it turns better if you've got a V4. And what are the other benefits? It's narrower, so you can have a narrower bike, which, you know, is good for aerodynamics, makes it slippery. And I suppose in the these days in MotoGP, where they're trying to put more and more wings and stuff on the outside of the bike, and of course they're limited to an overall width on a MotoGP bike. That's set in the regulations. I suppose the narrower they can make the chassis and engine, the more space it gives them beyond in which they can put wings and stuff. What are the other benefits of it? So yeah, your firing order, yeah, so you can get your uneven firing order and a good primary balance. Oh, gravel that. Easy Tiger. Let's get out in front of this car. I'll shut up for a minute. Let's go back to first gear. This goes on in first. I'll chuck it up to 6 now. It's the last run back. Yeah, so lots of benefits. Designers can play around with the firing order, they can play around with the packaging, handling benefits. Downside is cost, which is why I don't see many V4s on road bikes, because you need 2 sets of cams, 2 sets of cylinder heads. What else do you need 2 of? Hello? Someone foraging or litter picking. I think that looks like a forager to me. Whoa, Tiger. These lot are foraging as well, I wonder. Dog walking and foraging. Sorry, slowing down. Oh, look at these people sat outside a pub. Really sounds well. Oh, mate! You see, 37 years old, you ride past some people outside of a pub and they make Nice hand signs, not the sort of hand signs you get if you drive a Porsche. No, they were hand signs, they wanted to hear it. Imagine that, how cool's that? I mean, yeah, this ride is complete now. So, but yeah, cost ain't an issue when you're on a mission to win world championships, whether it's MotoGP or GPs or superbikes, which is why, if you look back in history, the vast majority, certainly in GPs, of successful superbike race bikes have got V4 engines. That's why Ducati switched to a V4. Oh, blast of heat coming out the back of this thing. God, this bike's good. It just doesn't feel like 100 horsepower. It really, really doesn't. And I think that might be to do with the close ratio gearbox that's in it. Obviously it's got a really long first gear, which means it's followed by 5 pretty short gears. Oh mate, stick a foot out. Can't wave, I'm braking. Just honestly, you know, it's not ripping my arms out, but of course it isn't. But do you know what? If you really needed to, you could tap away on that gear shift, work the clutch lever. You could make this thing go bloody fast on the track and on the road. I'm sure of it. But yeah, RC30 was followed on, the RC45 came next, of course. And I never really quite achieved the same level of, well, success, but also iconic status. God, my arse is hot now. Temperature's bang on. That's just how it is. Yeah. So the RC30 kind of came onto the scene, made a big impact. Instantly became a hit, and kind of has stayed there ever since. You know, look at this fella looking at me. There's a 3-legged dog. Yeah, you see everything. Was it you meet the nicest people on a Honda, it said, didn't it? Ah. I'd be inclined to agree with that, based on this cheeky little trundle. With bonnets though. Nobody knows that. Oh, shiny. So this, I have to say, it's not the first time I've ridden this bike. Obviously, as I said, I have ridden it actually before, but this week that this bike's been in my possession is the first time I've ever come into contact with an RC30, and it's absolutely not disappointed. It's everything I really, really hoped it would be. I wish either I was about a foot shorter or it was a little bit bigger, kind of a bit more proportions like a modern bike. You know, modern bikes got really high seats now and they're a bit more spread out and the handlebars are a bit wider. But that doesn't matter because this is how it was then, and I'm just eternally grateful. This is always a precipice view, look at this. To have had the chance finally to ride this. I'm going to pull in here, which is where I started from earlier, and jump off. Oh. I really, really, really hope the sound of that bike has been picked up by this microphone. Switch that in. Oh, so RC30. Just look at it. It really doesn't look 37 years old. It was cutting edge at the time, you know, and that's kind of the reason we got it in for the magazine. We've also got a Panigale V4 because, you know, that and this, you know, were or are both the two bikes that were both designed to the exact same brief, which was to win races and world championships, superbike races and superbike world championships. The exact same brief, but 37 years apart, and of course the Panigale is a completely different thing. But what an absolute treat! What an absolute treat! I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into my crash helmet. I've never let anyone in here before. I hope I've made this a little bit interesting. Hello. For you. I'm going to sign off now and see if I can process all of this and maybe get a few more miles in while the day's so nice. So, adios, and maybe, just maybe, I'll make another video or two on some other bikes as they pass through my hands through my magazine work that I do at the moment for fast bikes. Ta-ta. Ta-ta. That's a bit shit.